Okay, this is a video about restoration. This is a 1940s glass box, and I have a bunch of other pieces from around this time, including a 1920s Apollo tray. And I'm going to be practicing how to gild. Now, this box is in pretty good shape, but the gold overlay that they did put on it has started to change to a slight green tinge, probably because it was lacquered, and that's a typical reaction. In some places it's still looking decent enough, but in other spots not at all, like especially like in these areas here. So I'm going to be re-gilding this, but haha, yes, there is another problem as well, and that is that the hinge doesn't work very well, and the lid won't stay open, but that's not the biggest problem. So this came with its original pad, which is in decent shape. I mean, it shows wear, but it's in decent shape. Problem is, it's the wrong color. I want pink and I want silk. So what I plan on doing is sourcing, hopefully from Etsy or somewhere like that, some very old but still, viable pink silk to do this, and then some other pieces as well that I'll be showing in this video. I may braid, I may do these or not, I haven't really decided. And I'll either just cover this whole thing just the way it is, or I'll make a template and make my own, because this is actually two pieces, and there's this more solid board. This is what was glued onto the bottom here, and then this poofy part on top. And who knows how they managed to get all those beautiful corners and everything. That took skill and practice, I'm sure. Anyways, so this is not going to be my first project in gilding, but it is the first thing I wanted to show because the box is really great. It does have a couple dings and stuff, but nothing super obvious. And once I re-gild it and replace this pretty worn looking pad, I think it's going to look really fantastic. All right, I'm going to go on to some other pieces now. So I've also got this little frame. Now, not sure when this is from. I'm going to guess the 40s. There's no markings on it anywhere. But pretty sure this is not even brass. It doesn't look like brass. It's not yellow enough. It's some cheap alloy, but that's okay. I can gild it just like that, and the color will match everything else that I'm going to be regilding, and that's kind of the point. I'm spending all this money to regild with 23K gold, which won't tarnish easily. I want everything to be the same color, which at the moment is not happening. All right. And I'll be able to take this apart to deal with it properly. Okay, the next piece is the first piece I'm going to regild, and that's this little casket. Now, this is made by WB Manufacturing Company, and they made lots of these. I mean, there's a number on this, but I don't know what it means. They made a ton of these, and they weren't the only company to make these. And they're a dime a dozen. These don't sell for very much unless they're in really great shape and the gold is mostly intact. But you don't see those very often. And when you do, they tend to be the bigger ones that have been handled and taken care of, and they're buku expensive. So if we open this up, the reason why I think it's from the 40s is because it's got this piece in it, but it's not silk. It's some kind of nylon or something. I'm not sure. And the top piece is missing. So what I intend to do is not only gild this as my first project, because this will be the easiest to re-gild, but replace this with the silk I mentioned, top and bottom. What I also plan to do is, once I get a handle on how to deal with these, I plan on buying a really big one that will probably cost $100, all beat up and everything, and make a big project out of restoring that to go with my other things as well. Maybe I'll sell this one at that point because it'll be pretty. So anyways, all right. So also I have this mirror tray. Now, this could have been done any time between the 1940s and the 1970s. and it has a little bit of weight to it. It's a quality piece, but the metal is just a cheap alloy. I don't think it was actually ever gilded, because in some spots it's showing silver, almost like the gold color was like painted on, and that's not what would happen if it was gilded. Um, Gilding doesn't, it just doesn't flake off like that. So needless to say, what I plan on doing is taking this apart. Now this one I haven't taken apart. I'm not even sure how to do that, but it does have nails in spots, so probably it'll be fine. But I will re-gild this the same way I re-gild everything else, and at least the color of the metal will then match. The mirror's, though, in very good shape. It looks dirty because it is. But it also has a pretty nice dark purple felt bottom, which is getting a little dusty. I should probably take care of that. But yeah, I paid about, oh, and the paper's coming off. Yeah, see, that's a restoration issue right there. I'm going to have to fix that because I do like this felt backing. It's in good shape otherwise. So anyways, I've been using this on my vanity, and eventually I plan on buying more of these trays. And once I get through the first one or two of gilding, I'll have that down pretty well. Now, the last thing I want to show is the project I'm leaving for last, and I'm going to start with this boring piece, all right? This is the back. This is the bottom, I should say, to a 1920s Apollo brand tray that I recently got via eBay. The seller was selling it for a fraction of what they normally sell for, probably because it was filthy. I mean, it was so dirty. There were issues with it that weren't even visible in the photos, and that the seller probably didn't even know about. Not big unsurmountable problems, but disappointing to be sure. So this is, like I said, this is the bottom. This faces up, and it's showing water damage, which I realized when I took this apart that it had been damaged by water. The issue is that I don't think this is original to the piece. The texture, it's almost like it's been covered with kind of a plastic thing. They couldn't have done this in the 1920s. At least I don't think so. So I think at some point the felt part probably fell apart, and somebody replaced it with this. I don't like this really, so I do plan on covering this with felt. What color, I haven't decided yet. Probably just black to make it simple. All right, but that's just one layer of many. All right. So I'm just going to get the rest of these pieces in general position here. So, all right, so this is the mirror part of the tray, and the mirror part is damaged, but I like that actually. I think that's kind of cool. What I don't like is all around the edge of the glass. There's nicks and just rough edges. So I'm holding this carefully because I could absolutely hurt myself, man, trying to touch this and stuff. So I don't plan on doing any restoration to this piece of glass, unless I can find a way to deal with these nicks and stuff, which I would like to do, but I don't want to accidentally break it. That would really suck. So I'm probably just going to leave it alone. All right, the next piece, let me see here. All right, so this is copper, pretty sure. And you're wondering what this is. Well, they fit together and went together and managed and put into this tray properly. This shows along the edge here. All right. There's a big problem with this stuff, though. These aren't done. These were not. This is not complete. Something else should have been done with this before it went into the tray, and for whatever reason that didn't happen. Very strange, because this is supposed to be galoche, and I'm not saying that right. It's a French word. I've never heard the word spoken, so you'll have to pardon me. But basically what happens is they used a machine to tool this design into the metal. And then what's supposed to happen is they're supposed to pour liquid enamel into it or onto it. And then it's baked in a really hot oven, and the enamel turns into glass, and it looks beautiful. Stuff of things like this that are done all the way are worth a lot of money. So anyways, for whatever reason, that was not done on this particular tray, and these pieces were put in before they got the enamel. Now, I've seen photos of this exact same tray in other colors, and they look fine. Now, what does gouache look like? I've got a sample here. Okay, this is from the 1930s-ish, and I'm gonna get up as close as I can before we lose focus. And it looks like that's about where I'm going to be able to end. But as you can see, there is a definite design that has been tooled onto that metal. Enamel was blue enamel was poured on and baked onto that piece of metal, and it turned it blue with a bit of a sheen to it. This is what gouache tends to look like. Most colors: blue, green, pink, yellow, orange. Occasionally, orange gouache is not very popular, and there's not many pieces around, but it's pretty amazing to see. So anyways, as you can see, there's a huge difference. Enamel, no enamel. And one of the reasons why I got this tray was because I wanted a tray with enamel gouache, and no go. Anyways, I don't think the seller knew that, and I decided not to make a big deal out of it, because again, pretty sure they actually didn't realize, because this tray was so filthy, there was no way to know that this was an issue, until I took it apart and cleaned it. So these last two pieces are what they're supposed to be. So this is the bottom piece, and everything rests in here. There's a lip down here. And this is in pretty good shape. The detail on it is so amazing. I mean, just look at that carving, right? Now, this was gilded, for sure. And they did a decent job on it. But yeah, it's 100 years old. I mean, for goodness sakes. So, yeah, it needs to be re-gilded. Two of the feet have lost their gilding, and two of the feet have not. This is the back. It is signed Apollo right here. And it says Apollo 365212. Now, I don't know what that really means. And look at this. I cleaned this really well, but it's still releasing little bits of debris. Goodness. Oh, and there's some, that's where it's coming from. Yeah, I cleaned this as thoroughly as I could, but I missed a few spots apparently. Okay, so that's the bottom. Everything rests in there. That black bottom sits on the very bottom, and then everything's piled on in the right order on top. Okay, now this is the top piece, and it's really cool. Now when I got the tray, it was so filthy that there was literally dirt caked underneath here. It was horrible. And here are definite signs of water damage, which ate away at the gilding, and has actually started to oxidize whatever alloy this is. It's probably brass, but I'm not sure. Anyways, just look though at this detail here. Isn't that something? Isn't that beautiful? Now, the gold is definitely on here, but it's been worn off. It's completely come off in a couple spots. It's not very shiny. And this filigree really lost almost all of the gold. I don't know why. Probably, I'm not really sure. So I can't wait to see this re-gilded. It's going to look so pretty along with this piece. But I'm going to be doing this last because this is a big project, and I want to get some practice with gilding before I tackle it. So thanks very much for watching. I'll be doing more of these restoration videos. And as soon as I actually start working on restoring these pieces, I'll be doing additional videos. And when I get to this piece, I'm hoping that I will be able to actually do the gilding on camera. I'll have enough practice. So keep your eyes open for that, and thanks for watching.